I'm back with our America's Mattress Live Tower Cam, currently showing a very obscured Grand Mesa, the biggest flat top mountain in the west. And, well, not too much to see of it right now. Obscured by snowfall still ongoing this evening, but in the center of town, just cloudy. 39. We saw some flurries earlier on today. Winds aren't too noticeable. Once that cold front got closer and closer earlier on today, and then we saw a shift in the winds come down from the north. That's when we saw that snowfall, just a little bit of flurries that melted as soon as they hit the ground. And then, of course, we hit the rainfall. We only got to 44 degrees was our high for the day, though. We didn't even hit freezing overnight. That's why we only got those flurries melting as soon as they got towards us here at the center portion of the valley. But I'm sure your experience different a little bit down towards the Redlands and in the Grand Mesa, especially here in Montrose, too, where you did see a few inches of snowfall fall earlier on today and still ongoing in the mountains. 34, cloudy skies and 10-mile-per-hour winds ongoing. So let's talk about snow totals. Up at Vail Pass, they've gotten 3 inches, but of course, it's still going at elevation. Those totals will be going up. 10 inches down towards Red Mountain Pass, Loveland Pass 4, 3 on Powderhorn thus far, and 4 down toward Telluride Resort. Powderhorn, of course, that's the resort itself up on the Grand Mesa. It was closer to the 4 to 8 inches range. So let's take a look at that here. Again, 4 to 8 inches here. This is the more central portion of the Grand Mesa, heading further over towards the east. And then down towards the south, as we talked about, along the Uncompahgre, especially the southern portion, once you actually get into the San Juans, that's when that snowfall really started to pick up, those high totals over towards Red Mountain Pass. What's coming next? I think a little bit more of this ongoing at Powderhorn. We're starting to exceed 2 inches on our live camera up, so I do expect those totals to keep growing as the snowfall incurs into the rest of the night. But how much longer are we going to see it for? Here in the Grand Valley, I think we'll see a bit of a resurgence once we get to 7, 8 p.m. range. I can show you that here on our future casts. It's 7 o'clock and you're already starting to see more of that rain dip into the valleys, but still on the rainier end, not expecting really much in the way of snowfall. Then as we move later on into the day, I expect Montrose to still through midnight see snowfall chances. So keep that in mind, especially if you're heading down towards south along 550, where Ridgeway and Uray are going to keep on going as you head towards midnight. And then we get to tomorrow. Clear skies is going to warm right back up into those 50s as you get into the weekend. A great time to get outside, and you're not going to have to worry about precipitation at the very least. And those gusts will still be noticeable in those mountains. Still could be in that 40-mile-per-hour range. But without the snowfall, you don't have that big risk. As this low pressure system gets pulled a little bit further down towards the south and then back on over towards the east as you move later on. And see, there it goes, and then circles back in heading towards Baja California. And then we get this zonal flow coming right over from the west. What that means for us is a pattern that's going to stick. So when you see things like this, 24 in Grand Junction, night in Delta, 24 in Grand Junction, 23 in Delta, 22 in Montrose, and 15 up in Aspen, and then warming back into those 50s. We're going to move into a warming pattern, and we're going to stay there throughout the rest of the week. 53 in Delta tomorrow, 46 in Montrose, 41 in Aspen, 39 in Colburn, and 44 in Ridgeway. As we builds and builds and builds, we're going to get back into the 60s by the time you hit Monday. So although we'll be losing an hour of sleep on Sunday, as soon as it hits 2 a.m., that's when your clock's going to jump right to 3. And then you're jumping right into the upper 50s and 60s as you move later on into the week. Plenty of sunshine to boot. Montrose tomorrow, 46, 54 on Sunday.
The Rogue Report is brought to you by